So hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm out rolling meat for barbel. It's something that can be quite fun to do. It's very similar to rolling pellets, only meat is a lot easier to roll down the river. And I've actually got some new meat with me today that's actually flavoured with garlic, which is one of my all-time favourite flavourings for barbel. One of my favourite baits I've ever used for barbel was a garlic pellet, an 8mm garlic pellet, as you'll have seen on the channel in the past. So fingers crossed we'll bag a few fish. Without further ado, I'm going to crack on really quickly with showing you exactly the method that I'm using today and the baits that I'm using today, as it looks like the rain's about to come in. I don't want to damage the camera if that rain comes down anytime soon. Let's crack on with the fishing, hopefully put a few on the bank. Oh, now I've reached the first area I'm going to fish this evening. Got a rain cloud rolling in, so I want to get this filmed before that rain comes down. The bait I'm using today, I told you I'm using meat. The only real meat I've had success on is flavoured meats. I think last season I used some halibut flavoured and robin red flavoured meats, and I caught some really nice barbel on them and chub. So a brand new meat has come out onto the market, which is a garlic flavoured one. Now garlic has always been one of my go-to flavours when it comes to catching barbel, and in fact one of my favourite pellets to use was a garlic flavoured pellet, which I've used probably for the last 10 years for catching barbel. So I'm sure this meat's going to work. I'm going to be cutting it into cubes, some of the smaller cubes, some much larger cubes. The larger ones will help roll down the swim better, so I'll probably use them for when I'm wanting to sneak it under tree branches and let it roll right down the swim, and the smaller pieces for when I want it to hold bottom a little bit better and when the barbel are really grubbing on one particular patch. I've also got a mix of different size shapes and coloured pellets to feed into the swim too, to get them grubbing around in the gravel, on the sandbars. Fingers crossed we'll pick up some fish. Just free lining these obviously, rolling meat. Obviously I'd have either no weight on the line or maybe just a couple of split shot on the line, just to help it roll along them gravel bars, roll along them sandbars, and hopefully pick up a few fish. I've already got a couple of fish feeding, so let's get cracked and try and catch them. So this is this one I've not fished yet so far this season. I've been catapulting a few pellets here and there upstream and I've not seen a huge amount. I thought I might have seen one barbel. I can see someone's line hanging from the tree, which is going to be an absolute pain to try and cast past. But obviously it means there must be some fish here. Just got a little bit of meat on there, just on a hair rig. I'm just going to be rolling it. Hopefully not in the snags, but up against the snags down there, and hopefully there's some barbel down there. Because I'm pretty sure I've seen one, unless it was a chub. Absolutely perfect. A fish up. Oh, first cast. Are you kidding me? First cast with the meat. That's crazy. It's been a while since I've had. Oh, it might end up being a chub, mightn't it? It might not be a barbel. I was going to say catching a barbel on the first cast. It's been a while since I've managed that. It's a chub. It's got to be a chub. Unless there's a barbel weed on its head. I can't see what it is. Proper in the streamer weed. Right in front of me. No, that's definitely a barbel tail. The reason he's not fighting much is because he's in a load of weeds, so his face is covered. Let's just give him a little bit of line. We talked about this last time. If you go into a big weed clump or a bit of a snag, if you let some line out, the current will gently pull the line behind the fish, and the fish will generally come out the back of the snag, or at least be tempted to come out the back of the snag. There we go, just give it some right stick, come on. Pull him out off that streamer weed, come on. There we go. There we go. Weed on his head, perfect. Means I can scoot him in the net. He don't know what's going on. Beautiful barbel, no monster, but God, he put up a hard fight in that flow. Whew. We'll rest him and take a look at him. Well, it's definitely not what I expected on the first cast of the session. That's just bizarre. Fishing the brand new meat. This is the first time I've used this meat, and I think it's new to the market this season actually. And on my first cast of it, I go and catch a lovely, lovely little barbel. He's no monster, probably pushing maybe about 4 pounds, something like that. It's a really nice fish, really nicely conditioned, put up a great fight. Got me dug into the weed a few times, but I managed to drag him out with that setup. And yeah, absolutely awesome. Just a hair-rigged, ruggedly cut out piece of meat. Absolutely awesome. Barbel do love garlic. Let's get him back. There we go, fish on, fish on. Rolling it just underneath the tree branches. Put a slightly bigger piece of meat on, because the meat rolls better actually, the larger piece to use. Because obviously it holds more of the cover and has a larger surface area. So it was rolling really nicely just underneath the branches, which is where I thought the barbel would be hiding after I had that first fish. It's actually now been about 15 to 20 minutes since that first fish. I've seen the odd fish swim upstream, but they were really wary, so I knew that I had to get a bait in an area where they were comfortable, and underneath the tree branches was exactly the area. And this is definitely a bigger fish. I can guarantee you. I haven't seen the fish, but I can tell just by the head shakes and just how heavy it feels on the line. Great big thumping head shakes. That isn't just a little fish rocketing around. That's quite a nice one, that one, I think. It's got to be 6+ anyway, at least. You can always tell when you're in a lot of weed when your line starts making squeaking noises. There we go, back out of stream of weed. I guess this is like one of them times where someone could easily get broken off if they're not sure on quite how to work the fish in this sort of water, because it can be tricky, I'm not going to lie. There we go, we managed to tame him. It can be a little tricky sometimes, especially when there's heavy amounts of streamer weed, but I guess it makes it all the more exciting. Like, he's definitely a bigger fish than the first one. That might be an 8 pound pluser. Hooked really nice in the bottom lip. It's cut like a ready powdered coloured lips, and that's from some of the robin red pellets I've been feeding, I think, and some of that meat as well. There's a little hook. The bottom lip, it's a nice fish. Well, I said while I was playing this fish that I thought it was definitely going to be a lot bigger than that first one I caught, and I wasn't wrong. In fact, it's nearly twice the size of the first one I caught. The first one I think I estimated to be around 4 pound. This one I just weighed it really quickly and it was 7.5 pounds, so nearly twice the size of that first fish. Fought twice as hard, got me in twice as many snags, but still we managed to tame it on the gear. Put on a slightly larger piece of meat so it caught more water, helped it to drag a bit better. Managed to let it roll underneath the tree branches where I felt the warier barbel were hiding after getting spooked from catching the first fish. Bam, probably about a third or fourth roll through. Awesome, I'm going to get moving soon because it looks like it's getting towards night time, but it ain't. I think these are rain clouds rolling in, so best hurry up, get this fish well rested and get him back, and then we'll move on and find another swim, I think. Well, the storm eventually passed. Thankfully it didn't hit me, but it gave me a chance to get to a new location. Probably my final swim of the session. I've already caught 2 barbel, so that's fantastic so far. I've hit a couple of different swims and found absolutely nothing. And finally I found this one. Probably got maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours left of light, and I managed to get maybe 2 or 3 barbel feeding down here on pellets, which is absolutely awesome. I've also got an eel feeding down the margin. I might try and catch that one. I've chucked a few cubes of meat in, and I think because the smell is so strong from that meat, it attracted a nice big eel in. I don't know if to try and catch that one. Have you ever seen anything like that before in your life? Went to throw bait in and smack my rod out my head. Jesus. So the rod that I'm using is the Akuma Custom Black, which is actually a rod that I was using on the most recent session when I was barbel fishing on the river, and with the heaviest tip on, using the exact same rod, exact same reel, the Akuma Samar, loaded with 8-pound suffix. And that's what I've been taming these fish on today. Gently drifting that meat down. That's what rolling meat's all about, just gently sending it down the swim. You're making very, very little disturbance. You're not chucking out a big lead or anything. You're just letting the weight of that meat just slowly drag it down the current, rolling it along the bottom, rolling it along the sand and the gravel. I'm going to get one any minute now. Trying to watch the feeding pattern to see where they're coming up the swim. Oh, I've got it in the perfect position there. Got to get one in a minute, surely. Go on, there we go. What did I just say? Absolutely perfect. I watched that fish from all the way up the stream, beelining towards that bait. It must have been following the scent trail from downstream, because it just came upstream in a straight line right towards it and picked it up. That's awesome. I'm just tying that drag up a little bit. It's not a big barbel at all. It's not one of the bigger ones I've seen down there. It's definitely one of the smaller fish, but that's awesome. Whew. That's what we like. Just tying it up a little bit more actually. It's not a snaggy swim like the last one. This one's a really nice swim. I'm sure you can see it's stream of weed in front, but there's no great big thick rafts like there was in the last swim. This swim's just really like quite a chilled out swim. It's quite nice, it's open. River is moving a little bit slower through here, it's a bit deeper. Got a bit more time to play these fish. It's really nice actually. It's definitely a much nicer, more comfortable swim to fish in anyway. I'm going to be able to land this fish hopefully fairly easily. There we go, shooting him upstream now. There we go. Like I say, it's not a huge barbel, so probably very similar to the first one I caught, maybe a little bit bigger. Probably about 5 pound. Ooh! He snuck out the net then. Cheeky side. Oh, pulled him under my net. Go on, make it 3, baby. Yes! 3 barbels so far this session. I've barely been fishing 2.5 hours, maybe about 2.5 hours I've been fishing. Well, there we have it guys. That's barbel number 3. No monster, probably pushing 5 pound. Really nice fish, great condition, but he's missing one of his barbules. Might have been that someone might have just accidentally hooked him on a barbule, it might have torn it. It happens. A beautiful fish, absolutely stunning. Put up a great fight in the flow. It's a really nice swim to fish. I was debating whether or not to try and catch an eel that was feeding in the margin on my meat that I was chucking in, or to get a barbel. And well, this is supposed to be a barbel session rolling meat. But if the barbel don't come back, then I'm definitely targeting that eel in the margin. Beautiful fish. Well, I've been feeding this one for maybe 10-15 minutes since I let that barbel go. Oh, and there's barbel already feeding down there, so let's get this bait down there quick. That has landed perfect. Gotta get a barbel there, surely. There's barbel feeding down there right now. Yep, you ready? You ready? Another one. That's a good size one. That's a good size one. Come on. Ooh. Man. That's awesome. It's got a wound on his head, like maybe a bird of prey pecked it on top of its head. Nice fish. This one's got to be a 7+. I'm taming this one a lot better than the last one. That small one was an absolute pocket rocket, wasn't it? Like a 5-pounder, but just all over the place. This one, he's fighting hard, but he's not shooting right downstream like the last one did. He's staying in front of me, which is really nice. Helps me out. Oh, he's trying to go in this weed though. He's definitely smarter than the last one. The last one didn't really try and get into the weed. He just was shooting up and down straight. Come on, yeah, this one's a nice one. This one's a really nice one. Oh, plenty of backbone. Got him straight in there. It's really deep-bodied fish. We'll put him on the soft grass here. I do always bring a mat with me, but if I've got soft grass like this, I mean, why not put him on the soft grass, eh? Oh, really nicely hooked. Just on the edge of his mouth there. He has got a wound on top of his head. Look, shame I haven't got something to put on that. Some liquid. I've got some on order. It's like a bird of prey, like a cormorant might have jabbed it in the top of its head, or a heron maybe even fancied its chances. It's still in good nick though. Oh, I might weigh that one because he's a really deep-bodied fish, that one. In the first swim I was in, I caught a barbel that was around 4 to 5 pound, and then a barbel that was 7.5 pound. And in this swim, I caught a barbel that was around 5 pound, and then caught one just over 7.5 pound. It's actually not a very long fish, but it's quite deep. I don't know if you can tell on camera, it's quite a deep-bodied fish for the length. He's got a bit of a wound on the top of his head. Maybe a heron has fancied his chances, or a cormorant's tried to peck it and it's just bumped it on the head, but seems to be doing well. Hard fighting fish, really, really nice. Second fish from this swim, 4 barbel session. Got maybe half an hour left of light, something like that anyway, so don't think we'll get another one from this swim, but we'll try anyway. And if not, we'll try and catch the little eel that's been coming down my margin to eat with bits of meat. That's awesome. Let's let him go. So I've been trickling bait now into this swim for like a solid 20 to 25 minutes. The light's really dropping now, the sun's just going over the hills, so we ain't got long left at all, so I'm going to have to leave this swim. I'm going to look up the stream because I did see maybe 1 or 2 chub when I was on my way to this swim, so I'm just going to quickly have a couple chucks for those, I think, if I can find them. And then I think we'll call it quits, but it's been fantastic so far, hasn't it, on that new meat. Got some really, really nice fish, like 4-pounder, 5-pounder and a couple of 7.5 pounders. Awesome. Let's see if we can sneak a chub out before we have to go home. There we go, fish on. I couldn't see the fish and I was watching that meat slowly rolling down. It's game of the night. Oh, so guys, I think that's about it. I managed to sneak a chub on the way home, which was the plan. I should have been home probably about 15 minutes ago, but I couldn't help but have a few casts out for these chub on the way back in. I managed to get one. That's 4 barbel caught today, and 1 chub in about a 4-hour session in the evening. Absolutely brilliant, and all on that meat as well. So I'll leave a link to that bait in the description below, as well as any other baits and the setup that I've used today as well, the rod and reel. If you want to, feel free to subscribe, like the video if you liked it, and I'll catch you guys later. Let's let him go.